Facial hair can be considered a nuisance or a stylish accessory, depending on who you ask, but to the following 10 people, it's a competitive event that they work toward every year. International bearding, as it is referred to, has been around since the late 1900s, but the exact origin is often up for debate. The World Beard and Mustache Championships have been held every odd year since 1995, but in 2014, this streak was broken in an attempt to allow the American competitors unable to travel to Europe to still be able to showcase their potentially award-winning facial hair. Since its odd-year inception in 1995, the international competition has been held in Germany, Norway, or the US. The contest mainly rotates between German and American locations, as these seem to be the countries with the highest number of entrants. As we move through the month of November, men all over the world participate in the globally recognized tradition of No Shave November, in which they continue to grow out their facial hair for the entire month. Originally created to raise money for cancer prevention and research and to raise overall awareness for the cause, many have adopted this tradition to just grow their facial hair for an entire month and see how good, or mostly bad, it looks. This year's World Beard and Mustache Championship was held in Austin, Texas, and while simultaneously running a perfect marketing strategy, it was held well before the No Shave November craze. Taking place September 1st to 3rd, the competition consists of 3 overlying categories: mustaches, partial beards, and full beards, that are further broken down into more niche divisions that people may participate in. For example, the mustache category is divided into natural mustaches, Dali mustaches, English mustaches, imperial mustaches, Hungarian mustaches, and freestyle mustaches. The same goes for the other 2 main categories, but obviously with different division titles. Taking the top prize in these various divisions can be a huge point of pride for the past and present champions, and this year's competition certainly did not disappoint. Without further ado, here are 10 of the 2017 World Beard and Mustache Championship Division winners. Number 10. Wolfgang Schneider. We begin with the original, the classic, the natural mustache. Of course, anyone can just let the fuzz on their upper lip grow out and call it a natural mustache, but the men participating in this competition might just laugh you out of the county. They work year-round to cultivate magnificent natural mustaches in the hopes of taking home the first-place trophy every couple of years. Obviously, a part of the mustache category, there are still a few stipulations regarding entrance into this division. These men must possess mustaches that can be styled without the aid of any product, and the hairs of the mustache are allowed to start growing from up to a maximum of 1.5 centimeters beyond the end of the upper lip. Taking the top prize this past September in Austin was Wolfgang Schneider, an IT engineer who traveled to the States all the way from Germany to compete. He topped the competition with a score of 49.8, edging out the second-place mustache by 1.6 points. Number 9. Nathan Wilson. Salvador Dali, debated to be the most famed surrealist painters in history, was most known for his incredible pieces of art but also managed to leave another legacy behind. In the first half of the 1900s, Dali decided to grow a mustache, and little did he know that it would become an iconic staple for his life's work. Dali's flamboyant mustache began much like a standard one, but after beginning under the nose, the mustache was styled to point upward, defying gravity and looking unique. Described as having a 10 past 10 position, the mustache would look as though it were 2 hands of a clock, which read 10:10. In June 2017, Dali's remains were exhumed in order to attain DNA for a paternity test. The Spanish officials noted that when they unearthed Dali's body, his iconic mustache remained well intact and at its standard 10 past 10 position. For the Dali mustache category, entrants must possess a mustache that is slender with long tips directed straight up or arching. Without the use of aids, these mustaches are only allowed to start growing up to the end of the upper lip. This year's champion was a data architect living in Virginia named Nathan Wilson. With a score of 48.3, Wilson defeated the second-place contender by 0.8 points. Number 8. Jeffrey Moustache. With easily the most fitting name for this competition, Jeffrey Moustache took this year's prize for the top Hungarian moustache. The Hungarian moustache evidently is derived from the country of Hungary and its historical figures who possess these types of moustaches. Described by the World Beard and Moustache Competition, a proper Hungarian moustache is big and bushy, beginning from the middle of the upper lip and then pulled to the side. The hairs of the moustache are allowed to start growing from up to a maximum of 1.5 centimeters beyond the end of the upper lip. Unlike some of the more pure moustache divisions, entrants into this contest are actually permitted to use aids to assist in holding the moustache out further. Mr. Moustache took the championship this year, but it was no landslide. He managed to beat out Tyson Burrell by only 0.3 points with a winning score of 48.9. Number 7. Erwin Butsch. The Three Musketeers are best known from their movies, in which they fight to stop evil forces from taking over the French throne and ultimately the entire European continent. It is a classic story that has been told and retold through the generations, and has left a legacy in the form of a moustache known as the Musketeer. The style is described by the World Beard and Moustache Championships as a moustache that is long, slender, and allowed to start growing from up to a maximum of 1.5 centimeters beyond the upper lip area. Separating from strictly moustaches, the Musketeer division resides in the partial beard category, and as such, it permits aids to be used to construct a pointed beard to accompany the moustache. Similar to the moustache category, the partial beard category has a multitude of divisions for entrants to compete in. In this year's competition, Erwin Butsch was named champion of the Musketeer division, taking it home over his opponent by a whole point with a score of 49.6. Number 6. Sean Raiger. The Fu Manchu is known as one of the most popular partial beard styles for men around the world. It can either portray a sense of wisdom as it inhabits the face of an old Asian martial arts master, or it can release a feeling of toughness and grit as it inhabits the face of a 1970s beat cop. Either way, the Fu Manchu will make everybody feel some type of way. The Fu Manchu is described by the World Beard and Moustache Championships as a clean-shaven chin with the mustache beginning to grow a maximum of 2 centimeters below the end of the upper lip. Aids are permitted to be used to assist in shaping the tips of the mustaches as far as they can go downward. Taking first place this year was Sean Raiger, former president of the Mustache and Beard Social Club. Though he took the prize, it was no easy feat. With a near-perfect winning score of 49.9, he beat the second-place competitor by only 0.4 points and the third-place competitor by 0.9 points. Number 5. Michael Wallage. While most people try to avoid the point in their hair cycle where their sideburns are overgrown and fraying like the bottom of a pair of jeans, these men steer into it and embrace the bushy style that extrudes from their sideburns. The natural sideburns division of the partial beard category is home to these men and their fascinating sideburns. Entrants aren't permitted to use any aids and must possess a beard growing from everywhere but the chin. So, basically, they must have a big beard connecting overly bushy sideburns and a big mustache. This year's champ was Michael Wallage with a score of 49.3, who narrowly snuck his victory out by defeating the second-place competitor, Patrick Quinn, by only 0.1 points. Number 4. Aaron Johnston. The natural goatee residing in the partial beard category is achieved by possessing facial hair only in the chin and upper and lower lip portions of the face. The lip must be styled without the use of any aids and must also have a clean-shaven section at least 4 centimeters wide between the onset of the head hair and the beard hair. Although a mustache is not technically required for this division, most entrants choose to incorporate one into their styling anyway. Aaron Johnston edged out his competitor, Patrick Dawson, by 0.1 points to take first prize and had a winning score of 49.8. Number 3. Karl Roos. The full beard category is where it starts to get really hairy. I apologize, but I couldn't resist. The Verdi division is the first of the full beard category, and as such, it has the most stringent maximum length stipulations. Beards entered into this division must be short and not to exceed a length of 10 centimeters, forward in. Accompanying this short beard must be a styled mustache, which is why they are allowed to use aids. Karl Roos managed to hold on by 0.1 points to take the championship in this division, with a winning score of 49.4. Number 2. Scott Metz. Some men are just blessed with the ability to grow facial hair, and many of them find themselves entering the full beard with styled mustache division. Similar to the Verdi division, the entrants must possess a beard with a styled mustache, but unlike the Verdi division, there are no maximum length regulations. These beards must be grown naturally, and the use of aids is only permitted to shape the mustache. With a winning score of 49.3, Scott Metz was able to take home the top prize and rationalize his weeks of handwork and itchy beard. Number 1. Michael Wollin. Last, but certainly not least, is the division made for men who just want to grow a beard and grow it as big as they can. The largest full natural beard division is the 45.1 to 60 plus centimeters division. That means these beards will range anywhere from 18 inches to over 24 inches. No styling of mustaches, no aids, just long beards on hairy men. Taking home the division title this year was Michael Wollin, with a winning score of 49.5.